Hey, everybody. Thanks for logging in. Could someone chat in the attendee chat and let me know you can hear me okay? Okay, cool. Thanks, Jeff. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and type in there. There's not a ton of us here, so if you guys have specific questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them now to get you guys started with this so you can start getting this set up for spring. So let me go ahead and get this launched and I'll share my screen. Okay, you guys should be seeing my screen now. So basically what we're talking about is a digital version of your order form that will attach to the next gen database on the back end. So we're specifically talking about prepay sales structure. So where you normally would have sent order forms home to the league, the kids would fill out what they wanted and bring you cash. We are trying to get away from those paper order forms for two reasons. One, they're just annoying and the leagues don't send them home and all that stuff. And two, every time a parent places their order online, that's data entry you don't have to do. So we're not going to talk about barcode scanning today, but this process of online prepay combined with barcode scanning is pretty powerful, simply because once you've done your prepay and you download your receipts, they have the barcode numbers on them. So you can just scan the barcode straight off of the receipts and it will do the image match for you. And now there's zero data entry. If you are going manual and you're writing down image numbers, you're still going to need to pull a spreadsheet down and key in the image numbers for your player. So that's where it's sort of, without the barcode scanning, there is that little bit of a speed bump where you're going to need to key those image numbers. So I do recommend that if you haven't thought about barcode scanning, this is a good time to do it if you're going to do the prepay because they just match up really well. All right. So we all know, if we're prepaying in next gen, the most inexpensive way to do it is by setting up all of your products and packages in the system. Okay. So you come in here, you say new product, and you start building out your price list. I assume that anybody that's watching this webinar is a prepay photographer and has probably already set up the products and packages that they sell from their order form. But if you have not, that's the first thing you want to do because this gets pulled in to the prepay site. So if you've already done this, it's awesome because there's nothing else you have to do. When you go over to set up the prepay site, it's just going to pull all this information in and you can work with it as it comes in. So if you haven't set up your products, just go in, there's a ton of products listed. So just go in, start building out all of your products. And then once you have all of your products in the system, then you will go over to packages, and in packages, you can put in your packages you want to sell. Okay. So did I log in as me or as, I'm logged in as Vicky. Let me get out of here. I want to log in. Sean Bass has his all set up and he's got a lot of data in here. So I'm going to log in as Sean so we can look at his site. Okay. So if I go over to his account, he's got a lot more products here. He's got everything that he sells a la carte, and then he has everything set up in his packages over here. Okay. So just get this filled out right now. I mean, if you're doing it now for the first time, go ahead and put in your prices for your products because it will pull those over. However, you'll get to manipulate all that on the back end inside the prepay site. So if you already have all your prices and stuff set up, you don't have to actually mess with it over here. You can manipulate the prices in the prepay site. So once all of this is set up and you have all your products and packages squared away, and again, the names of the packages, the names of the products, and all of that stuff don't matter because you're going to get to manipulate everything that's going to be forward facing that your customers are going to see when you're building out your shopping area. So now all you do is click on online prepay, and the first thing it's going to want to do is have you subscribe. So subscription right now, Sean's still on beta testing. We had it at a dollar a month while we were beta testing it, but it is going to be $30 a month. You can see there's a pause button. So you don't want to cancel your subscription because that'll wipe out all the work you did on putting all your products and packages and all that stuff in there. You want to just pause. So if you hit slow times in the summer and you really aren't going to need this for a couple months, you can just pause your subscription. And then as soon as you click it back on to subscribe, it'll just turn it back on and you won't lose any of that work you did setting up your price lists and all that stuff. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is just subscribe, and that's just going to get billed monthly for using the site. There is no commission. There's just credit card processing fees depending on who you pick to process through. So let's go over to settings. So this is basically, we're setting up all of the details about how we want our cart to look, what products and packages and stuff. So let's talk about the theming first. So this is basically how we want our cart structure to look. And I'll go ahead and click this preview right here. So if you click preview, it'll open a new window and it'll basically show you what your cart is going to look like. I just want to have this open so I can show you where. So basically down at the bottom, this is your contact information. So however you have this in here, that's how it's going to display down here at the footer. So however people are going to contact you, that's going to be down here. Under general settings, you can fill out these privacy policy. Let's see if Sean ever did it. I don't think he did it. Let me see. I don't know if you can click it from here anyway, but so you can actually, like your refund policy, your terms, your privacy policy, you can find boilerplate information online and plug that in to your account so that that's there if someone needs it. Your contact information, and then you can upload your logo. So that logo you can see goes at the bottom down here, and then it also gets plugged in up here at the top. So the logo is at the top, and then that banner you can actually upload an image. So this whole thing here can be an image, which actually kind of looks cool. You have to play with it a little bit so that you can get this to fit. And then this is sort of a semi, like a opacity, so it lets your logo pop off the image, but the image goes behind it. It kind of looks cool. I haven't really seen anybody implement that, but it's that 1100 by 200 pixel size, so you can plug that in and be there. So Jeff, you're asking about credit card processing. Give me 1 second and that'll be over in payment details. Just give me a second to get through this theming. So then you can go through and your default view. So this is list view. So it's a list of your products. Thumbnail view, I think I'll see if it's, yeah, so this is thumbnail view. And this is just a preview, so that's why it's kind of stretching here. That's not what it actually looked like on your cart. But basically, if you like this thumbnail view better, if you turn that on as the default, then it will be that way for when the parent lands on the page, it'll be in thumbnail view first. If you like the list view better, then do list view as your default view. And then you can go in and put in these hex codes. I recommend leaving the background color white because if you make this a color, it just starts to get a little confusing to look at. So your theme color, this is basically all of your buttons and all the little stripes and stuff. And if you don't know how to get a hex color, if you take your logo or something that you have, and if you open this into Photoshop, and then basically just eyedropper. So just take your little eyedropper tool right here and click a color. Like if you want to match your logo, let's say we want to do this purple, and then click the little box over here. And now this is your hex code right here. So this 3B2B71, you would just plug that in to here, 3B2B71, and that would change the color to that purple color. Okay, so that's basically how you get your hex code. And then background color header, that's this little thing right here. So you could make this one color, and then you can see Sean has done that. This is a different color than his theme color, where what his buttons are and stuff. So, oh no, it's the same color. I think it's just because the opacity is lower up here on white. It just looks lighter. But this could be a totally different color than what your buttons and stuff are. All right, so that's basically how you can set up the look and feel of your cart so it themes out. Again, the system, they'll never see this Next Gen Photo Solutions stuff going on here. When you send out the link, we'll see that in a minute. It just says order-photos.com, and then it'll say /lake photography / the league name, and then the job number. So it's completely white labeled. It doesn't say Next Gen. There's no attachment to Next Gen. It's just, it just looks like it's your site. Okay. So once you have it looking the way you want, you can always change stuff, submit it, and then click to preview it. And when you preview it, it'll look kind of weird because you won't have any packages yet, but you'll at least be able to see the colors of the buttons and all that. And then you can always come back here once you mess around with some products and packages and see what it looks like with your products in there. All right. So that's how you set up your theme and your colors and all of that. So now let's go over to products and packages. So this is where you can start building out what you're going to sell. So this is pulling directly from the Next Gen site. So whatever you have set up and however you have the stuff named, that's how it's going to pull in. The package name, I guess he's only got some of these packages active. So these not having a real name doesn't matter because the customer's never going to see it. So you can activate and inactivate anything you don't want to be sort of your default price list. And per job, you can change things up even. So each job can have its own different price list. So basically, we've got our products and then we've got our packages. So packages are at the top, products are at the bottom. So all we have to do, so it wants you to have an image because in the cart, you know, it would just look dumb if you didn't have an image. So even if you don't have an image, I would put something in here. Maybe you could make a graphic that says image coming soon or something so that there's something to fill out that space. But I recommend like working with your lab and get some product sample, get some products, and then if you can lay your own imagery on there. Sean's done a really good job of getting all of these products. So see, he has an image coming soon button here as he's adding products, but he's done a good job of either actually ordering sample products or getting the product image and laying his own imagery inside of the product. Okay, so we really want to be able to show what we're selling. So it really wants you to have an image, and all you have to do is say add images, and it'll give you a box. You can have up to 5 images per product. So if you've got a package that has 3 products in it and you want to have an overall package image and then individual product files, and we'll see what that looks like. I don't think these aren't clickable yet because it's just the preview page. But when you're actually in the cart, you can click on these and it takes you into a detail page and you can see more images. Kind of think about like Amazon, when you're on there and you have your one big image and your thumbnails along the bottom. So you just want to load up your images for that and hit save. And then you can change the name, like in the next gen system, maybe, so this package name this is the anchor back to the database. So this one you can't modify because this is how it's listed in next gen. But this is how it's going to view in your cart. So if you want to call your packages like rookie package, whatever, they're still going to flow into the next gen system just as C, like when you do your data entry. But this is just for your cart so that it looks a certain way. You can edit the description of that product by clicking this, and then you can just, add whatever description that of the products in that package or the product itself. So you've got descriptions, names, the package name, and then your price. Again, this is a default price. You can actually raise things up and down or change prices per job, but this is sort of just your default price list. Okay, so the other thing that we just added is the ability to add another price list. One of the things I'm working on now is where you can take this default price list and clone it and then rename it, and then so you don't have to go through all the descriptions and stuff. Maybe the changes you want to make are subtle and you just want to have a different price list, so that you can basically clone this price list and then edit it, name it something different, and then edit it as you go. So, but for right now, you have the opportunity to do a new price list. It's just going to have you go through the process of creating these descriptions and package names and stuff again, and uploading images. So I'm trying to avoid doing a wholesale redesign of the price list and just be able to duplicate it and modify it. But right now you do have to actually create a whole new price list, and then it will be in this drop down, and you will have the ability to select which price list you want when you're creating your job. All right, so just the same as packages, down here are all the individual products. So these are all your a la carte products, and you can activate and deactivate them as you wish for your default price list. Okay, so basically that's kind of the heavy lifting side, is just getting this built out with your color themes and the way you want it to look, all your descriptions, names, images, all that stuff, so that you basically have an order form that lives online, good looking, with images and all that stuff. All right, so now let's move over here. So here you can sort packages. So depending on which package you want to see first, you can actually just click these and drag them and reorder how you want them to lay out, and the same with products. So you can, whatever order you want these to list out in, you can just move them around in that list. Okay, so just you can sort here. All right, so let's move to the next tab, which is general settings. And this is where you can plug in your privacy policy, your terms and conditions, and your refund policy. And then you can plug in your email address, whatever email address you want to have to be your contact, your phone number if you want that listed. And then if you want to be collecting sales tax on top of your prices that you have set, you can plug sales tax in here. If your sales tax is already plugged into what those prices are, you can just leave that blank, and then you can just figure out your sales tax on the back end of the job. Shipping label, shipping price, this is just basically what it calls it. So you can actually set whether or not shipping is an option per job, and then what the cost is per job. But there's people that have shipping and they have digital delivery price. So maybe instead of just saying shipping, it says shipping and digital delivery fee or something. So that then you have an actual shipping fee, but then if they just ordered a digital product, there's costs associated with that as well. So if you want to capture that cost for, if you're using like Capture Life or, just the manual process of if you're sending somebody images manually, that time is captured. So I think by default, it just says shipping price. If you want to leave it there, just leave it like that. All right. So here's what you were talking about, Jeff. The payment options are PayPal, Square, and Stripe at this point. Okay. So whichever one you click on, it's going to give you some setup instructions over here, and then you will be able to do a test payment once you've done this. This will just download a PDF file, and it'll walk you through finding these codes and all these access tokens and stuff that you need to plug in. We are multi-currency, so if you need to collect in different currency, you can do that right there. I'm assuming most of you are probably US dollar, so I think that's probably what it's defaulted to. But regardless of which one of these you click, it'll show you how to set it up, and then you can push a test payment through to make sure everything's set up properly before you go live. Even with that being said, I recommend setting up a test job and on your own go through and check out like a parent and make sure everything is working and your money is going into your account and all that stuff. So we don't touch the money. It doesn't flow through NextGen. It literally just goes straight to the credit card processor. So if you need to make refunds or find somebody's information, you will just log in to Square or Stripe and handle it yourself. We don't want to have to be, having to have you message me to make a refund to a customer if there's something wrong. If that's the case, then you just log in to one of these and you'll be able to see all the transactions on your side. Okay. And then discount code. So this is good if you are trying to incentivize people to order online. I highly recommend you use this discount code area so that, like, let's say you want to send out the code and you want to try to get people to order in the first 5 days that prepay is open. And so basically you can add a discount and you can name the discount. So let's call it early bird. And then you can just name it early ordering. So you can say, hey, if you order within the next 5 days, you will get 15% off, or you could do a dollar amount of $5 off. So you can do that. You can set the start date and the end date. So if you're going to launch this and have this link go out today, you can set the end date to be 5 days from today. So that this coupon, this discount is only good for 5 days moving forward. Okay. The other thing you can do is you could have multiple codes going at one time, but you could also do like a big spender, and you can say that this one is $10 off an order of $25 or more. So now if somebody spends over $25, they'll get $10 off. Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can do here to sort of, incentivize people to come place their orders online. Again, we're talking about getting rid of order forms, getting rid of data entry. Yeah, let's get as many people ordering online as humanly possible. And to do that, let's use the discount codes to incentivize people to get in here and do it. The other thing you could do is you can say, hey, first, use code first and let's say first 20. The first 20 people, so you can put a maximum user of 20 people that order get $10 off. So the first 20 people that come in here and use code first 20, it'll start to tick that off, number of times used, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 20. And then once it's 20, if your customer tries the 21st person, will get a message that says this code is no longer active. So again, there's all these ways in here that you can incentivize people to get in here and either spend more money, order quickly, whatever you need to do, use these discount codes to your advantage to try to push people to do whatever it is you want them to do. Okay, either spend more money, order fast, or a combination of all of those things. Okay, so we know how to set up our theme and our color and logos. We know how to build our packages, descriptions, prices, and all that stuff. We know how to set our terms of service, shipping information, and all of that. We know how to set up Square or whatever payment processor we want to do, and then we know how to do discount codes. Okay, so let's first go in and look what it looks like just pushing a job into prepay. And then after that, we'll look at how we look at our data and our prepay jobs that are running. So now that we're set up, our theme's set up, we've got our price list set up, and we're good to go. Now we want to create a job and get it into prepay. So in prepay, we don't have to have a roster. You know, just like our barcode scanning system, we can use generic information, and then basically the customer will be filling out the information. So the one thing I'll say, so if you have a real roster and you put a real roster in here, whether it has their email address or not, it makes it a little easier to have parents not put the kid on the wrong team. So let's do it the first way. Let's say we have a new job, and I think I have a West testing job. We'll say save and next. We'll go prepay, and we're going to say generic. All right, we have no information. The only information we have are the names of the teams. Okay, how many teams there are and the names of those teams. So basically, we're going to do roster wizard. If you've never barcode scanned and you've always shot manual mode, you've probably never used the roster wizard because you've just been coming in with order forms and data and you're just importing it in. But because now we have to do something ahead of the job actually happening, now we need to use the roster wizard. So this may be new to you, so let me show you this. So we say roster wizard. So again, right now, all we know how many teams we've got and the names of the teams. If you're doing it this way, I recommend be as crystal clear with the team names as possible. So there's as many, things for somebody to recognize as humanly possible. So if I say I'll just say 2 teams just for ease of doing this. This, honestly, it doesn't even really matter how many players you put on the team, but just for sake of, if you're going to barcode scan and you may potentially be downloading labels of barcodes, the labels are 30 on a page. So I've just sort of, in my head, always started just making my teams 30 players because I know that fills out a sheet of labels. If they're bigger teams like football teams and stuff, just make them in increments of 30 because it'll always just fill an entire page of labels, and because it has a page break anyway, so you end up throwing away half a sheet of labels anyway. So just do increments of 30. It just makes it easier. So now when you're changing the team name right here, this is where I would be super specific. So maybe there's a age level. So we put in there U12. Maybe there's a team name. So they're the Vipers. And then maybe we know the coach name as well. And we want to put the coach name in here and then put like Coach Smith. All right. So a parent now, their kid is 10 years old. They're clearly not on this team. Their kid's name, their kid's team is the Tigers. Clearly not this team. They know that their coach is Coach Stevens. Clearly not the right team. So as many triggers as you have in here to make sure the parent doesn't pick the wrong team, do that, because it'll just make it that much harder for them to mess up your roster. So now we have U10, Sharks, Coach Jones. All right. So those are our two teams. I hit save. It builds out my roster with my generic players. Okay. I got player 1, player 2, player 3 through 30 for each of my teams. So I have 2 teams. I have 60 players. So just so you can kind of see this from here, what's going to happen in the background is every time a parent comes in and places an order and picks this team, whatever the next available generic slot is, it's going to change their name from player 30 to a real name. Okay? So every time a parent places an order, you're going to see these names change to real names in the database as you go. It's really a beautiful thing because that just means guess who's doing the data entry? Not you. So it's really nice. So we actually have them replaced from the bottom up because, you know, what happens is some people place their orders online and some don't. So if you're dealing with barcode labels and you're going to barcode scan at the chute, the top part of the job that's not been filled in by players placing their order, those are your generic players, and the bottom part is what has been filled in. So it's much easier to move from the top to bottom than it is from the bottom to the top. So we just figured it'd be easier on our side to fill in the roster from the bottom to the top as parents place their orders, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It just helps on the workflow side at the chute. Once you print out your barcodes, some of them are going to have real names now, and some of them are going to have player whatever through 1 moving up to the top. Okay, so now that in our roster we can see a roster, you can see that now there's a push to prepay button. All right, so if you have not subscribed yet, this will be grayed out, so there's nowhere to push it to. But once you're subscribed and everything is built out and you've got everything structured, now this button is active. Okay, and all I have to have is some kind of structure to my job, and I can push it to prepay. All right, so let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and push this job to prepay. And so now it's going to launch us into the prepay setup. All right, so now I'm looking at my price list. What price list is appropriate for this job? Okay, if you had multiple price lists, you would be able to select them from this drop down. Okay, so now this has got your default pricing on it. Okay, if there's no change to any of this, you're using all the products, all the packages, and you're not changing any prices or any of that stuff, just click this, and that will activate all the products and packages in your default price list. Okay, if there are specific products you don't want to offer to this league, all you have to do is uncheck them, and they won't see them in the cart anymore. All right, so the other thing that's really nice, let's say this league that we're shooting, we had to work out a deal with this league. We usually do 10% commission, but they talked us into doing 20% commission. And you said, that's fine, I'll do that, but I'm upping the price of every package by 10%, of every product and package by 10% to cover your commission. And they said that was okay. So now I've got my default price list, and I want to say, yes, I want to increase everything by 10%. Hit apply, and now this is your new price list that's going to show in the cart. So now this league is paying 10% higher because the league is greedy. So, but it allows you to quickly buffer. And now this is one of those things that's really cool, because you can't do this with a paper order form, because it's not like you're going to go run out and get new order forms printed. So if you're pushing everybody to order online, this is a great way to be able to do these things on the fly. The other thing is, let's say to incentivize parents to place their orders online, you're basically, these prices are what are on your printed order forms, and you're basically telling parents, hey, forever, if you place your order online, my prices are 15% cheaper online if you place your orders online than they are if you fill out a paper order form at the shoot. And that really makes a lot of sense because that's all, that's data entry you don't have to do, handling those order forms, you don't have to do all that. Just all that stuff, all those people that have to be at the information table, helping parents fill out their order forms and go through all this process, a 15% reduction, isn't, or 10% or 5, whatever that looks like to you, is valid, and it will help people. It will slowly train people to do what you want them to do, which is place their order online. Okay, so that way you could decrease everything by 10% and apply that. Now here's your new package prices that are less than your paper prices. All right, so we talked about doing the discount codes, which are good to get people to act fast. So if you want to say, do this in the next 3 days and you get a discount, or be the first 20 people that place their orders and get a discount. So those are like call to action stuff, but this could be like a wholesale, it's always 10% cheaper if you place your order online. And then the discount codes are on top of that, basically. So you're just extra incentivizing people to do what you want them to do as quick as they will do it, or as quick as you want them to do it. All right. So basically you just say apply, and then that sets your price list from there. Just scroll to the bottom and say next. And so the next thing it wants to do, and this is really cool as well. So if once they try to go to the cart to finally go put their credit card information and check out, before they get there, there's a little pop-up box that pops up and says, hey, before you go, would you want to buy a discounted something or other? Okay. If they already have it in their cart, that's not going to offer it to them. Okay. This is really cool. And if you think about NextGen specifically, if they've ordered anything, you know that you've paid that initial extraction cost. So our prices are set to where you pay an initial $1 for the extraction, but then the additional product is really only costing you 15 cents or 20 cents. So that additional product after the extraction's already done is only going to cost you 20 cents to have a graphic designed for it. So if they've already ordered something, you're already going to have that dollar extraction and the 20 cents for whatever to fulfill whatever they did order. But if they add something else on top of it, every time they add another product, your profit margin goes up and up and up for that athlete. So we really want to try to get them to buy something else if they've already bought something. So you could come in here and say, like, maybe a magnet would be a good incentive piece, because it's kind of that cool product. So you could say, it's normally $14 and I'll do it for $10. Okay. So I'll turn this selective product on at $10. And maybe the other thing we think would be cool is maybe like a statuette, because that's kind of a big product. And maybe it's normally $28. Let's say we're going to do this for $25, and we'll turn that product on. And let's do one more. Let's do something big. Let's do a home plate plaque. We'll turn this on, and we'll say we'll do this for $25. So again, you got to look at what your costs are. Still want to be making money, obviously, because you got to pay for the plaque. But because of the design, this may be reusing a design that they've already even ordered. So this may not cost you anything. Like if they've already ordered a bag tag, the magnet is going to be the same graphic. So you're not even paying NextGen any more money, and you've just enticed them to order one more thing. And again, this is one of those things you can't really do with a paper order form, because they fill it out and they hand it to you and that's it. It's hard to find people that are going to work your sales tables that are going to sit there and upsell parents. Hey, would you want to add a button to your order before I close you out? That's hard to find. So this does it for you, and you can set all this up ahead of time and works really well. So we'll say next. So now it wants to know how much information do you really need to gather from each person that checks out. And this is all of those areas on the site that like you would key in if you were doing like ship to home and stuff like that. So this is like your roster information. This stuff down here, grade, position, pro, coach name, height, feet. I'm adding a feature right now where if you have trader cards, so if somebody orders a trader card, it makes them put in this information, because that's in our system. That's why people enter this information, is because it needs to flow through to the lab to go on the back of a trader card. Okay. But just because we sell trader cards, we don't want to have every parent have to type all of this data in. So what I'm building out now is where we can have products that if the products require additional information, that if they order a trader card, when they get to the checkout page, it pops a little box up that says, you have an item in your cart that requires more data. Please fill out the following fields. And it would have them fill out whatever you need for the back of the trader card. Right now, it's sort of all or nothing. I hope to have this done, the trader card option done by spring. So that, because I know with baseball, that's the trader cards are pretty popular. So I want to get this going so you don't have to have every parent type in all of this information, even if they're not doing it. Honestly, it's kind of nice to have age and stuff. If you do any kind of senior portraits, this is like capturing this data right here is pretty powerful. You pay a lot of money for this data. If you ever want to like mail, direct mails out to market maybe your family portrait sessions or senior portrait sessions, to be able to actually mine your own data to send out marketing pieces in your local communities is pretty amazingly powerful. So you can pick how much data you want to capture for your own business, up to you. If you don't need, you're not doing ship to home, you don't need any of that stuff, maybe the most you might want to get is like an email and a phone number, like the parent's name, email, and phone number. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that, because that'll just make it easier for us to flow through here. And let's go ahead and say next. So now here's where you can build out some custom messaging. So first of all, it wants to know your start date. So let's just say our prepay start date is today. And let's say we're shooting this job on the 12th. So we really want it to expire on the 11th. And so that means that it will expire on midnight on the 10th. So this will give you the day of the 11th to sort of download your receipts and get everything squared away for the shoot. All right. So just do an end date that's like the day before your shoot. So you have some time, however many, maybe you need 2 days, whatever, however many days you need to sort of get things in line. But you do kind of want to stop people from ordering so that they're not still filling out your database after you've printed off barcodes. Because if you're going to barcode scan and you print off your barcodes, you don't want people still ordering in the background and then you don't know, and you're using barcodes that have actually been assigned to somebody. So just have it in with a little cushion to get everything squared away for your job. Are you doing any kind of shipping? If you're going to be doing ship to home from your lab, you'll want to turn this on and put in a shipping price. Okay, totally variable per job. We didn't want to have this be a default price. This can change depending on what the scenario is for the job, but we'll go ahead and say no. Retouching. Do you want to offer retouching to your customers? If yes, just set a price and it'll add retouching, and that'll flow in, and then NextGen will do the retouching for you. At that point, you're paying 60 cents an image. So, most people charge about $5 for retouching. You can go ahead and put that in right there. All right. Then you do have the ability to accept cash or check. If you want to still incentivize people to go place their orders online, even if they don't want to do a credit card, you're still getting the data entry done for you. So if, and I know a lot of us like to get some cash and checks, definitely cash. So if you want to do that, you can go ahead and say yes, and it activates this box down here, and you can type some information in here. I recommend like having a Word file on your computer where you can type this messaging and have it so you can open it and copy and paste it in here if you're using the same messaging over and over again. I recommend just starting a sheet that has your prepay messaging, and you can just copy and paste it in here. But maybe this would say, please make checks payable to whoever you need them payable to, and whatever instructions you want to put in there for cash payments. All right. So then the other messaging is, as soon as they land on the site, a little message pops up. And this can be anything. It can say, thanks for coming in to place your order. We look forward to our shoot date, and you can remind them of the day of the shoot. Whatever you want this to say, it can say it. Okay, go Tigers, whatever you want that to be. Checkout message, once they check out and pay, a little message pops up. Hey, thanks for placing your order online. We look forward to our shoot day on February 4th. Please remember to bring your bat and glove to the shoot if you'd like it to be in your picture. Anything you want to put on there, you can put on there, and it'll pop up right there for the parent. So it's a great time to communicate any information. Hey, don't forget, we're going to be behind the dugout on, at ball field 4, whatever you need to put on there, you can put on there, and it helps with that messaging with the parent. And again, paper order forms don't do this for you. There's really no way to customize that out. So this is really powerful to be able to do that. The expiration message. Let's say some parent comes along on the 11th after our cart has expired. The messaging that pops up, I recommend putting something like online prepay has ended for your shoot on the 14th, but don't worry, you can still order. Just please talk to one of our information people at the shoot, and you can place your order there. So, because what happens is before we had that, when it would expire, people just started calling the studio. Hey, I missed the opportunity to order, and I'm not going to be able to order. And then somebody at the studio had to keep saying, hey, no, you can still place your order at the shoot. Just just come see us at the shoot. Now, that's not to say people won't pay attention and the little message will pop up and they won't read it and they'll still call you, but at least it's there and you can try. So basically, if it's expired, you can let them know it's not too late. They can still place their order. Okay. So let's go ahead and type something in there. Hey, how are you? We'll type something in there so we can see it actually pop up. Thanks for your order. Could have spent more, ... And then we won't see the expiration message, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we will go ahead and say proceed. So now we can generate the link. So here's where I was talking about. So it's basically orderphotos.com, store, your studio name, then the job name, and then the job number. So when your parents see this link isn't going to look weird. It's not going to say like nextgenphotosolutions.com. It's not going to be a bunch of stuff they don't recognize. It's got order photos. It's got your studio name. It's got their league name. So it's pretty straightforward. They should know what it's coming from. And now you can actually have a password auto-generated, or you can customize the password. So let's just say you want to make it, soccer 2022 is the password. Okay. So if I save that password, so now my group link is here. So I can't click individual link. If I had emails in my roster, I could actually send out individual links to every person. And the difference here is that when they land in the cart, their information would already be filled out. They're not going to be able to change what team they're on. They're going to see their kid's name right there. The next page, it allows them to update the spelling of their name. So if the league gave us a roster where the names were spelled wrong, they could update the name of their kid right on the next page. Okay. But because we don't have email addresses, we don't even have kids' names, we just get a group link, which is just one link that everybody's going to use to access the cart and do their shopping. Okay. So basically at this point, we would want to copy this link and this password and go draft up an email to send to the league so that they can start pushing this out to your league parents. So just draft up an email that says, here's the link to order your photos with any of your discount codes and any of that stuff in it. And then the league can forward that out. If it's an individual link, the system will actually send out these emails straight from in here. So if you click the individual link, there's a box down here and you can actually type your email message down here. So it's going to say, hey, it's time to order your photos, or whatever you type in there. It's going to give them a link to log in, and then they just log in and boom, they're right at their kids' information. But let's take a look at what this looks like with our generic one. So right now, I just go to my link, and it's going to take me to Sean's shopping cart. And do you see my little message pop up right there? Let's see if it'll pop up again. See, hey, how are you? So this could say anything, and it'll hover there until I click the screen. So it's not like it just pops up and goes away. So this could have information. Hey, we're super excited about taking pictures of the Vipers this year. Thanks for placing your order online. Remember, we'll be behind the concession stadium, or wherever you're going to be. Whatever information you need to give them about the photo shoot, this is a great opportunity for a little customized messaging right there. So we'll go ahead and put in soccer 2022. It's going to take us into our job. So now this is where I was saying, when you're using a generic roster, that this is where the parent is basically filling out your roster for you. So when they click the team, this is where we want those names to be really specific so the parents can really know that they're putting their kids on the right team. Okay, so we're going to say we're doing U10 Sharks, and then we're going to type our name. So we made sure it said athlete or student first name, so they don't put their own name in here. So, but trust me, it happens. So over here, we just said instructions. Please select a team and enter your athlete's information. Please note, check your spelling, as this spelling will determine how your child's name is spelled on all products ordered. No refunds will be given for misspelled names. All right, so this is like just default messaging we put in there because it just needs to be said. If you're typing your kid's name wrong right now, I'm not reprinting your stuff. You're typing it, so I don't know any different, so I'm going to go with it. So now I say save and next. So now it wants to, you remember how I only selected parent name, phone, and email? So this is the only information I require. If I had required more, this list would just be longer. Okay, so right now, this is my name, so I put in my name, I put in my phone number, and I put in my email address, okay? So I say save and next, and boom, there I am, I'm in the shopping cart. So here's the shopping cart, and you can see, remember it was in list view by default. So if I click on a product in here, I don't think Sean has multiple pictures, but so you get a big picture here, and then if there were other pictures, their little thumbnails would be down the side right here. Okay, so a good view of the shopping cart. Here's the description: 1 designer memory mate, an 8x10 individual, a 5x7 designer individual, and 4 wallets. All right, so now that's good. I can continue shopping, go back to the shopping cart, and I can look around. It was requested from photographers that use this in beta to put the packages before the products. So that's why it's set up like that, because most photographers would rather a parent order a package than a la carte products. So we're showing the products first in whatever order you sort them in. All right. And then, so whatever format you've got these in, that just know that the packages are always going to be listed above the products. All right. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to actually check out. So I'm going to order something cheap because I don't want to have Sean refund my money. So we'll do just a memory mate. All right. So add the memory mate to the cart. It pops up and says product added to cart. So let's go ahead. So as soon as I try to go to the cart, it's going to pop up and offer me discounted stuff. Okay. So I want to go to the cart and it's like, hey, before you go to the cart, do you want any of these discounted products? So again, right now, I know I'm $1 for that extraction. So if somebody orders these magnets, it's only going to cost me 20 cents to get this graphic made. And I'm going to make whatever. I probably discounted it too much, but we don't have that set up, Chris. I know that's something that people do. They don't allow people to order a la carte products before they order a package. But one thing that you can do is you could only show packages. You could have no products listed at all, and then have your products be just recommended after you go to try to check out. So right now, that's not an option. They just have the ability, if you have products in here, they can see them and they can buy them. So yeah, we'll look at that. I know that was something that's come up in the past, just when we were trying to figure out paper order forms. It's tough sometimes to communicate that to parents that you have to order a package to order a product. We never did that when I was shooting, but I understand that some people do. So we will look at trying to add that functionality. And it kind of is like the functionality of a trader card. If you have this, then you can do this. So if you have this product, I need to do this. So it's like that, if this, then this. So we'll look at that logic and try to add that in. So let's go ahead and add the trader card or the magnet to our cart. And now I'll go to the cart. So now I can see I've got my memory mate and I've got my magnet. Okay. So the cool thing here we just added is we can shop for another athlete. So this is really nice. So this is Jimmy Croninger. So I've got another kid on the league and I want to shop for them as well. So all I got to do is say shop for another athlete. It's going to circle me back around and they're on the other team. So now I'll put in Steve Croninger and now I can move forward. It's going to ask me the same info here. And then I'll say save and next. And now, because I'm not a mean parent, I'll buy the same memory mate for this kid. And I will also get the same magnets for him as well. So now I proceed to the cart. And now it says I've got Jimmy Croninger and Steve Croninger in my cart at the same time. Really cool. We didn't have this at the beginning. And from people requesting it, we added this in. And this is going to be really powerful for parents with multiple kids so that they can, just do one checkout process and do that. So now this is where they could enter a coupon code. If you had given out some coupon codes, they could enter that here and apply it. If the retouching was on, they would see a button up here to add retouching, and they could add it and it would total in. If you had sales tax turned on, it would collect sales tax right here. It will total out your discount, and then your grand total is here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed to checkout. And this is just billing information. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out. Shipping info, same as billing info, proceed to pay. I'm going to pay with my card. I'll have to call Sean and tell him to give me my $63.20 back. So now I paid. Here's my receipt. Thanks for your order. Could have spent more. This my little message came up here. But again, this could be information about the shoot, about, we will drop orders off at the league, please ask your coach, that kind of stuff. Then if I also go to my email, I just got an email from Sean. So the email is coming directly from Sean's email. So it's not coming from some weird email address. It's coming from Lake Photography. It's branded out. I got 2 emails, one for each kid, that shows what I ordered, what I paid, and all that stuff. Okay? So now that order's in, I can print my receipt if I want, so that I can take it to the shoot to prove that I placed an order, and you're good to go. So now the parent has what they've got. Now if we, as photographers, go back to our job, and I go into this job, now if I look at my roster, player 30, I did both on the same team. So player 30 and 29 are now the 2 kids that I just placed orders with. Okay? Jeff said, can you put a reminder on the order email to check in or something? To check in when they get to the shoot? Yeah, you can put anything in there. Yeah, you can put anything in there you want. All right, so now let's say our job is going, it's paused and we're getting ready for our shoot. So now from the dashboard, we can jump back into online prepay area, and under my prepay jobs, this is where we can come in and download our receipts. So if I say view order details, it gives me this nice breakdown of my order numbers, how much I took in. Invoices are anybody that paid in cash, that needs to pay in cash, so you know how many outstanding orders you have to collect cash or check for at the shoot, since we don't have any. If you had been collecting sales tax, that would be listed here as well. So if you're collecting sales tax, this sales tax will be listed, and you'll know exactly what you need to pull out from this job to pay your sales taxes. Okay, thanks, Jeff. And then it gives you your sales average, which is nice as well, because you can kind of see how you're doing. I'll show you some of Sean's real jobs in a second. But so at this point, I'm getting ready to go shoot my job. I would obviously have more orders in here, but basically I have stuff that I can download. I can download a job report, which is just a CSV file of all the job data, who ordered, what they ordered, all that stuff. So this may be good to just print out to have at your information table of what you got. So if anybody has a question, you can pull this up. You can see everything, what they paid, what their address is, what they ordered, all that stuff, okay? So then the other thing that you can do are your invoices. We don't have any invoices, but I'll show you the receipt. So if you click order receipts, you can have the PDF sort by team, last name, or the date that they ordered. Up to you how this lays out. We'll go ahead and say team for now, and we'll download our receipts. Now this is going to be a small receipt because it's only 2 players, but so every order is a page. So this is basically can act as your order form at the shoot. So this one, anything paid that was paid with a credit card online has this black paid at the top. If it's an invoice that needs to have money collected at the shoot, it will say unpaid in red at the top of it, so that your people at the information table can know. And this is where it is good, Jeff, if people check in at the check-in table and you can say, did you place an order? Yes. Okay, did you order online? Yeah. And then you would see if it said unpaid, you need a check or cash to move forward. Now it does have your barcode right here printed on it, so you can use this to scan your barcode right off of this. And then it has spots to key your image numbers here. If you're going to be writing down image numbers, you can use this order form. So right now, I would print these out, put them in a folder, and get ready to go to my shoot. Okay. So then at this point, if I take orders at the shoot, then I just need to come back into my job when I get back to the office and just do that little bit of data entry to get those last remaining orders in that somebody placed at the shoot. Okay. So essentially just consolidating that data with the data I've already captured. All right. So let's look at one of Sean's real jobs here, because I know he just did this really kind of big one, this elite volleyball. So he said there were about 300 and some players in this league. 232 of them placed their orders online. So that's 232 order forms he doesn't have to mess around with. He had $8,500 in sales before he even left his studio. This was in his bank account before he even packed up his van. And he had a sales average of $36.92 across the board. So he said he took in about 100 orders at the shoot. So over 2/3 of the people that placed their orders online. So again, really powerful to have people in here placing their orders as they go. And then this is just filling in the database as though you keyed it in. The other thing that I will note is that if a parent comes in, let's go back to this job real quick, and I'm going to see if I can get this to actually happen. So if I say I'm on the Vipers and my name is Jimmy Groninger again, and I can't remember what I put his jersey number as. Give me one second. That's Steve. There's Jimmy, jersey number 78. So let's go jersey number 78. Do this. I can't remember. Is that the right team? Oh, I put him on the wrong team. Hold on. Watch this. So now if I do Sharks with Jimmy. So right now so let's say you have divorced parents. This is very powerful. Let's say you have divorced parents and one of them has already come in here and ordered and they've put in the same information, the same team, the same kid's name. Hey, it looks like someone already placed an order for Jimmy Croninger on Team U10 Sharks Coach Jones. If this is an additional order for this student or athlete, please select the athlete below and click Save and Next button. So I will say yes, and I'm actually having them take this away because I just think that parents do snarky stuff to like own their X, and I don't want people clicking this as a new athlete and messing up your roster just to be a jerk. So I'm actually taking this option away to say this is a new athlete because obviously it's a new person or it's the same person. So it's basically just going to say, it looks like someone already placed an order for this. That's not a problem. Click next. But for right now, they have this option to say this is a new athlete. But most people are going to say, oh, yeah, his mom must have already placed an order. It's the same person. And I'll say save and next. And now in the next gen system, it's not going to add Jimmy to your roster twice. It's going to do that additional order, that sub order for Jimmy, which is really, really cool because now, it's kind of watching for that to happen. So obviously, if dad puts Jim and mom puts Jimmy, it's not going to be that smart. It's not going to notice that that's the same person. So it's only going to work if they put in the same name. So if mom puts Jim and dad puts Jimmy, you got to watch out for that. And I would watch, just check your roster at some point and see if any of that has happened, and you can kind of consolidate those together. Okay. But that's pretty much it. So then you would just be kind of watching your orders. And I don't have Sean's Square login or Square login to see the payment hitting his Square account. But again, because we don't touch the money, this goes straight through right into your account. So if you were to log into Square right now, you would see your money in your Square account immediately, and you'll be getting pinged on your phone or if emails saying that people are placing orders, and you can just kind of watch that happen. All right. So that's pretty much it. Again, just think about this as a digital version of your order form that gets you out from under having to do data entry. It gives your customers it gives you some more sales opportunities to allow for the suggestive sales, the messaging, some of that stuff to really incentivize people to place their orders online. So I think it's going to be really powerful, and I know that it'll work. If you're doing prepay and paper order forms right now, yeah, maybe not everybody will place their orders online, but a lot of people will. So give them the opportunity to do it and make your life a little easier, make their life a little easier, and not have to handle all that paperwork, and just streamline the process of getting your data into NextGen and into production. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I will hang out if you guys have any questions. Hopefully you can still hear me. I think I just lost my AirPod. Okay, hopefully you guys can still hear me. Sorry, I'm here again. I lost my connection to my headset, but I think I'm back. I think I'm back. If you guys can hear me, let me know. Hopefully you can hear me. My headset died. I'll hang out for questions. Hopefully you can hear me. Hey Fiona, I didn't know you were in here. All right, looks like everybody's gone. Thanks everybody. Bye.